Okay, this evening we're going to be presenting the 7 elements of design. As you see here in the picture displayed, those 7 elements are line, shape, value, color, texture, size, and space. Space, as one of the classic 7 elements of art, refers to the distances or areas around, between, and within components of a space. Those 2 types of spaces could be positive space, which refers to the subject of the piece itself, or the negative space, which refers to the empty spaces the artist has created around, between, and within the subject. So with this picture here, we would consider the actual line art of this face as the positive space, and the actual white area as the negative space. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because it has a color that it's the positive or negative, or I guess black or white, just dealing with black and white. Black does not always mean that it's a negative space. The second element we're going to talk about is the line element, an element of art defined by a point moving in space. Line may be 2 or 3 dimensional, descriptive, implied, or abstract. This example is of an artist by the name of David Marino. What he does is he uses his sketching skills to create 3D dimensions. This particular style that he uses is the hatch sketching. Cross hatch sketching is the specific term for it. The second is shape. The third of the 7 elements is shape. These 2 different areas can either be objective or non-objective. Objective shapes represent objects. Non-objective shapes show how the artist envisions an idea. Non-objective shapes give form to the artist's imagination. My example is going back to ancient history. In the languages, they relied on objective shapes to express words in written form. So the examples of some of the words and meanings and their shapes are shown here. The fourth is size and shape, or size and scale. A graphic element can appear larger or smaller depending on the size, placement, and color of the elements around it. These are 2 examples that I found where you have the up-close image of the objects, which would be, the gentleman in the hoodie and then the gentleman with the gun. But when you scale back and get a field view of the picture itself, it's a very small object that did not appear to be so small, but once you scale it down or up, you can see the actual ratio. And the other here is the just an image of someone going and taking a picture that's strategically placed to make it seem as if the Eiffel Tower was actually between his hands or his fingers. The next one we have is color. Color is the element of art that is produced when light striking an object is reflected back to the eye. I did a little research and found that in 1905, Boston artist and teacher Albert Henry Munson published a color notation in which he scientifically defined colors, precisely defining hue, value, and chroma. He described hue as the color itself, the distinctive quality by which one can distinguish one color from another. The examples are red, blue, green, blue, just different colors from the color wheel. The value, just the brightness of the hue, the quality by which one distinguishes a light color from a dark one, and the range from white to black. And chroma, or intensity, the quality that distinguishes a strong color from a weak one, the departure of a color sensation from that of white or gray, the intensity of a color hue. The next one, next element is texture. Texture is one of 7 elements of art. It is used to describe the way a 3-dimensional work actually feels when touched. In 2-dimensional work, such as painting, it may refer to the visual feel of a piece. The example is just this actual slide. It already came default with like a flip of portraits. That's where you see the white, and you know that by putting a drop shadow, it makes it seem as if it's 3-dimensional. And also the actual word textured, by adding that line on top, I wanted to give the visual that if you did touch that, it would feel like something. And the last element is value. Value is a range of lightness and darkness within a picture. Value creates depth within a picture, making an object look 3-dimensional with highlights and cast shadows, or in a landscape where it gets lighter in value as it recedes to the background, giving the illusion of depth. So my example is the creating the circles and adding color and drop shadows in different sizes, making it look 3-dimensional. And this concludes my presentation on the 7 elements of design. Thank you.